Hello students, welcome back to my YouTube channel and today is the video number 3 or lecture number 3, right? I hope that you have already seen the previous two parts of this video of this chapter where we have discussed the what is force, and the previous lecture, that is lecture number 2, we have discussed about the different types of force. Now today we are going to discuss a very important topic. The topic name is friction. Now, if you have seen the previous video, I have mentioned that friction is a type of direct contact force. Is a type of a direct contact force. Okay, right? Now, today we will discuss why friction is a force. Forget about direct and contact. Why friction is a force? First, you have to understand the basics of friction, and how we are going to understand it with the help of an example. So we take an example to understand why friction is a force. So my question is, why friction is a force? First, understand this concept first. Okay. Now we will understand with the help of an example. Suppose there is a road, right? And on a road you are riding a cycle. Okay, you are riding a cycle. You are riding a cycle. Suppose you are riding a cycle. Now suppose suddenly what you feel like, this is a plain road, okay? Not like an inclined downward or inclined upward. It's a plain road. Suppose you feel like you got tired of cycling because you're cycling suppose for a very long time, so for 2 hours, 3 hours, and you got tired, immensely tired. And what you do when you get tired, so you felt like you will your body does not allow you to paddle anymore, so you stop paddling. So at this point, say position A, you have stopped paddling the cycle. I think you know what is the meaning of paddling. You have stopped paddling. So what will happen after that? What will happen? The cycle will keep on moving for a little bit with a slower speed. So the speed of the cycle will slowly from the position A, as you are going in this direction, slowly the cycle speed will decrease, and at a particular position the cycle will, say at this position B, the cycle will stop. Okay, the cycle is going to stop. So cycle will go to a certain distance, but at a certain point the cycle will no more move forward. It will stop. Why it stopped? If you got this reason, then you can get the answer. And for this you have to understand, or go back to what I have taught you in the first lecture. Right now, when at position A, the cycle is still moving. So it is what? It is in a state of motion. It is in a state of motion. While going forward, at a position B, it stopped. Means what? At B, I can say it is in a state of rest. So from the position A, if I am going to the position B, it is going from the state of motion to the state of rest. Now think what I have taught you in the first lecture. What is responsible to bring a body from the state of motion to the state of rest? Think, what is responsible? A force is responsible. A force can make a body from the state of rest to the state of motion, also from the state of motion to a state of rest. So if a body is coming from the state of motion to the state of rest, what is responsible? Force. A force is responsible to bring a body from the state of motion to the state of rest. Clear? And this force which is responsible for stopping the cycle, this force which is responsible for stopping the cycle, this is actually, this force which is responsible for stopping the cycle, this force is called friction. Okay, this is called friction, or sometimes we say frictional force. So the force which is responsible for making the body from the state of motion to the state of rest, that force, okay, that force which is responsible for bringing the body from the state of motion to the state of rest, that force is called as friction. Okay, so friction is what? Friction is a force. So I can say what? Friction is a, so this friction is a kind of a force. Now, if you have seen the previous lecture of mine, over there I have very much particularly mentioned that every force has a direction. It has a direction. So what is the direction of frictional force? What is the direction of frictional force? Like for weight, the direction is downward. For tension, the direction of force is what? Away from the body. So this is the body, it is away from the body. So what is the direction of frictional force? The direction of frictional force, see, don't give the answer like eastward, east, west, north, south. No, this is not the directions that we're talking about. Okay, the answer is something like this. So the direction of frictional force is where? Is towards, is the direction of frictional force is opposite to that of the motion. Opposite to the motion. If my motion is like this, okay, as you can see, the motion of the cycle is like this way. Okay, so frictional force acts in which way? Acts opposite. So this is the direction of motion. So this arrow is the direction of motion, and this arrow is the direction of friction. Okay, it is the direction of friction. So what is the direction of frictional force? Direction of frictional force is opposite to the motion of the body. So it is what? Opposite to the motion of the body. So direction of frictional force is opposite to the motion of the body. So what you have understood, friction is a kind of a force, because it is stopping the body. What? Because we know to stop a body we require a force, and since friction is actually responsible, so that is a kind of a force. And what is the direction of this frictional force? It is opposite to that of the motion. If motion is this way, my frictional force is this way. Clear till here? So okay, so what we have learned, so what I can say, friction is a kind of a force which acts opposite to that of a motion. Now if I do draw the entire thing in a much larger way, if this is the road and this is my tire, so this is the tire, I'm not drawing the entire cycle, okay? If this is my tire of the cycle, so the tire is moving in this direction, means what? If it is rotates like this way, clockwise, okay, the direction of motion is this way. This is the motion's direction. Clear? And frictional force acts which way? Frictional force acts in this direction, opposite to that motion. But very important to say over here, the frictional force, what I said previously, is a type of a direct contact force. Is a type of a direct contact force, which I have previously mentioned. So when this tire is in contact with the road, suppose this is the road, and when the tire is in contact with the road, then only the frictional force acts. Okay, then only the frictional force acts. So so it is a kind of a direct contact force. It's a kind of a direct contact force And what is in contact? Two body. So the first body is the tire. The first body is the tire. This is the first body. And what is the second body over here? This road. This road is the second body. So tire is the first body and the road is my second body. And you can see the tire and the road are in direct contact with each other. And at the point where they are in contact, at the point, so this is the point where they are in contact. This is the point, at this point only frictional force acts. At this point only the frictional force acts. And what is the direction of frictional force? It is opposite to that of the motion. So at this point the frictional force acts because these two, tire and the road, are in contact with each other at this point, say at the point A. And what is the direction of frictional force? It is like this. Okay, it is opposite to that of motion. Motion is this way and the frictional force is in this way. So this is the frictional force. So when the road and the tire in contact with each other, I can say what? Frictional force comes. Let me give you a very nice example. If I talk about an aeroplane and a train, which moves faster? It is very easy to understand that the aeroplane moves faster than compared to a train. Why? Because the train and the road are in contact with each other. The wheels of the train and the road are in contact with each other. So that is why frictional force acts. And because of frictional force, a train cannot go much faster. But if you talk about the aeroplane, is the aeroplane and the road are in contact with each other? No, they are not in contact with each other. So that is why there is minimum frictional force. There is minimum frictional force between the aeroplane. So there is no frictional force actually between the road and the aeroplane. There is no frictional force. So that is why there is no frictional force. There is no opposing force. So the aeroplane can move very, very fast. So where there is frictional force, the body will move slow. Where there is less frictional force, it will move fast. If the aeroplane from the sky comes down and suppose the aeroplane moves on the road, suppose you consider a situation where an aeroplane is moving on the road, will it be able to move very fast? Answer is what? Answer is no. Aeroplane cannot move very fast on the road because the tires of the aeroplane are in contact with the road and at that point frictional force acts. So you can say the aeroplane won't be able to move fast on the road, but on the sky, no frictional force, so it moves very, very fast. So I hope you understood this frictional force part. And next topic, we will discuss the different types of frictional force. We have the static frictional force, limiting frictional force, and kinetic frictional force or sliding. We are going to discuss about all three of them and we are going to understand it in a much detailed way. So our next topic is what? The types of frictional force. The types. Okay. So let's continue with that topic. So our topic is right now is types of friction. Now friction is a type of direct contact force which you have learned. But friction is also, there are three types of frictional force. First is called static, second is called limiting, and third is called kinetic, or sometimes we say that as sliding friction also. Now, what is this static friction, what is this limiting friction, and what is this kinetic friction? We have to understand it. And again I say, how do we understand a particular term? Always we understand physics with the help of examples, okay, real life examples that you have experienced at your house, which I have experienced in my house, or any other person around any part of the world has experienced it. So we are going to take those examples, okay. So let's try to understand the first topic, which is static friction. Now suppose this is the base, okay, this is the base of your house, okay, the floor of the house, and you have a heavy object, okay, a heavy object. Suppose you keep the heavy object as what? Piles of books, okay? These are like lots of books, okay? Very, very heavy books. These are like 10 kgs of books, okay? Like maths, physics, chemistry, biology, all the books are there, okay? One by one. You can keep your, okay, you can also try that at your house. You can keep 4 books, say the heavy books, maths, physics, chemistry, the heavy books, or the dictionary also you can take and keep it one after the other, okay? You can try this and you will see, you will understand this topic much better way. You can keep the 5 books one after the other. Keep heavy books. Now, you try to apply force. Now, what you did, you tried to move the whole rack of books. And how we move about a body? Think how we bring a body from the state of rest to a state of motion. What we need? We need a force. So we apply a force on this pack of books, okay? We apply the force on the pack of books. And how much force we apply? We apply a very gentle force. We apply a very gentle force, a gentle push, okay? This force, as we apply, I see this force is not enough to move the body, okay? This force is not enough. So suppose if I take the example, suppose I take few numbers to make you understand, okay? Suppose what is the unit of force? The unit of force is called Newton. Suppose I apply over here 2 Newton of force, 2 Newton of force in this direction. This 2 Newton of force is very, very less, and this force is not enough to move the heavy object, books. Why? Why this force is not enough to move the books? Think. Because there is a opposite force which is acting, okay? So my force is this direction and there is an opposite force, invisible, okay? I cannot see that force. There is an invisible force which is acting, and that force is called frictional force. Between the surface of this book and the floor, at this point, there is a frictional force acting. And what I mentioned, frictional force is always opposite to the motion. So if my motion is in this direction, if I'm trying to push the body in this way, then also my motion will be in this way. But frictional force says what? I am opposite to that of motion. I am opposite to you. So frictional force acts in this direction. This green arrow represents the frictional force. And how much is the frictional force right now acting? I am giving 2 Newton of frictional force. Frictional force says I will be also 2 Newton. So frictional force also becomes 2 Newton. So I am giving 2 Newton in this way. And frictional force is also giving 2 Newton in the opposite way. Okay, 2 Newton in the opposite way. And opposite way means what? It is minus. Okay, there is certain things in physics that you need to know. Opposite forces are negative signs, okay, negative sign. So this is actually 2 Newton force, but in opposite direction. So this will be minus. So my 2 Newton and the friction force 2 Newton, since they are in opposite direction, the 2 Newton and this 2 Newton, they will cancel each other. So 2 Newton and 2 Newton is equal to how much? 0. So my resultant force on the body is, so the resultant force on the body is actually 0. Although I am applying 2 Newton, but frictional force is also acting 2 Newton, na? So my force and frictional force are cancelling each other. So resultant force becomes a big 0. So that is the reason this body is not moving. That is the reason when I apply a gentle force, the body is not moving. This 2 Newton force, or say this 2 Newton is what kind of force? This 2 Newton is a frictional force. But this frictional force, which 2 Newton is there, is actually, it is maintaining this object in the state of rest. So this 2 Newton of the frictional force is actually maintaining the body in the state of rest. So this 2 Newton of frictional force is maintaining maintaining the body in the state of rest. So understood? So this 2 Newton force, this 2 Newton of frictional force is actually maintaining the body in a state of rest, and that frictional force which maintains the body in the state of rest is called static friction. Is called static friction. Very important to understand. This 2 Newton of frictional force which is acting in the opposite direction, that is called as static friction. So static friction is a what? Static friction is a kind of a frictional force which maintains the body in the state of rest. Okay, static friction is a kind of frictional force which keeps the body in the state of rest, or which acts on a body, and keeps that body in a state of rest. So very important. So static. So very important over here is the word state of rest. Okay, the frictional force which keeps the body in the state of rest is called as static friction. Okay, till here clear? Now what? Now see, I got a little angry. Why? I'm applying force and the body is not moving. So what happens? I increased my force. I increased my force from 2 Newton to 4 Newton, and then the frictional force says, I will also increase, and this 2 Newton of this 2 Newton of frictional force also becomes 4 Newton of frictional force. So what happens? So what happens over here is that, so again what happens? My 4 Newton and will be cancelled by the frictional force 4 Newton in the opposite direction, so negative, and the resultant force is what? 0. So again, if I increase my force, the body is still not moving. I got little more angry. Then I increased my force. Say I increased my force to say 6 Newton. Then the frictional force also becomes stubborn, and the frictional force also says I will be also 6 Newton. So what happens? Over here 6 Newton and 6 Newton, my 6 Newton and the frictional force 6 Newton will cancel each other again, and the body is still at the rest, Now I got more angry and I increased my force to 8 Newton, and frictional force is also that much of stubborn. Okay, the frictional force also increased to 8 Newton. So what happens? 8 and 8. Again, the body is not moving, it got cancelled. After this point, let's go one more point. Okay, let's go one more point. And suppose I increase my force to 10 Newton, and the frictional force also becomes 10 Newton, and they cancel each other. So you can see, if I apply a force of 10 Newton also, from 2 Newton, I slowly increase my force. First I apply 2 Newton, then 4, then 6, then 8, then 10. After applying 10 Newton also, the body is not moving. But see, there, if you do that in practical now, if you keep a heavy books and you keep on applying the force, okay, first little, then slowly increase. As you are increasing your force on the object, you will feel, you will feel that the object is becoming heavier and heavier. Okay, heavier and heavier. First I apply this, then when I apply a lot of force, I feel, wow, this object is really very heavy. So as I'm increasing my force, the object will start feeling heavier. But remember, as I'm increasing my force, this frictional force on the other hand is also increasing. So what happens? This static friction value keeps on increasing. From 2 Newton, it was 4 Newton, then 4 Newton to 6 Newton, 6 to 8 to 10. So static friction value kept on increasing from 2 to, so the static friction static friction value kept on increasing. First it was 2, then it was 4, then it was 6, then it was 8, then it was 10. So at till here I think you understood the point. So static friction will not have one particular value. It will keep on increasing. It will keep on increasing. Okay. But there will be a point where the body will start moving. And now what happens is that, now here it becomes very interesting. If I increase my force from 10 Newton to 11 Newton, and that is the point where the static friction fails, because static friction is increasing, but it can increase to a certain value, to a specific value. It cannot keep on increasing like 10, 12, 13, 14, 20, 100, 1000, lakh. No, it will never happen like that. It will increase, but it will increase to a certain point. It will increase to a certain value, and after that it will not increase. Now see, my force is 11 Newton, and the static friction, the maximum value of static friction is 10 Newton. So what happens over here? My force is 11 Newton, but the frictional force cannot further increase. This frictional force cannot go beyond 10, cannot go beyond 10. So as a result, in this situation, I win the battle, because my force is 11 and the static friction force is only 10. So 10 minus 11. So what is the resultant force? Resultant force is 1 Newton, and this 1 Newton of resultant force is in which direction? Is in the direction, it is in the direction where I am applying the force. So resultant force of 1 Newton is in this direction, and the body will start moving. So the body will start moving after my force is greater than the maximum value of static friction. The body will start moving when my force is greater than the maximum value of the static friction. Okay, at that point the body starts moving. So when the body starts moving, when my force is greater than the maximum value of static friction. Okay, remember. So after that the body starts moving. So till here you clear? So now over here, all these things are called static friction. But the maximum value of the static friction, that was how much? 10 Newton. So the maximum value of the static friction is called limiting friction. So the maximum value of static friction is called limiting friction. This 10 Newton is what? 10 Newton is the maximum value. किसका maximum value? Static friction का maximum value of static friction. And the maximum value of static friction is called limiting friction. Okay, there is no space, I'm writing over here. So this 10 Newton is the maximum value of the limiting friction. So the limiting friction का maximum value को बोलते हैं, static friction का maximum value को क्या बोलते हैं? Limiting friction. So I hope you understood till here. Okay. So we have discussed the static friction and limiting friction. So what is the definition of static friction? What is the definition of static friction? It is the frictional force. So static friction is what? It is a frictional force. It is a frictional force that acts when the bodies are in contact with each other. So that acts, this frictional force comes into play, that acts when two bodies are in contact with each other, contact with each other. So it is a frictional force that acts when two bodies are in contact with each other, like I told you, okay? Like the books, the rack of books and the floor. But very important, it's the frictional force that acts when two bodies are in contact with each other. Are at rest. When the two bodies are in contact with each other, are at the state of rest. Are at the state of rest. Very important. This word has a lot of importance. State of rest. Okay. So this frictional force is a type of frictional force that acts between two bodies, but make sure that the two bodies are not moving. They are still in the state of rest. Like you keep on applying the force, but the whole object is not moving. So that time, what force acts? What frictional force is acting? Static frictional force. Actually, you know, the meaning of the word static means rest. This is very important. The meaning of the word static means what? Rest. Yes, static means rest. So static friction means what? Friction which acts on a body which is in a state of rest, which is not moving, which is in a state of rest. So this is called static friction. So static friction, what will happen? Static friction will keep on increasing. Static friction keeps on increasing. Like first it was 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Out of those 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, the maximum value of the static friction, this is called the maximum value. The maximum value of static friction is called limiting friction. So what is limiting friction? Limiting friction is called as what? The maximum value of static friction. The maximum value of static friction is called limiting friction. I hope you understood this part. So यहाँ पर सबसे important word क्या है? Maximum value of the static frictions are called limiting friction. Okay, till here to you clear? Now what happens? When you apply force more than the limiting friction, okay? As you apply the force more than the limiting friction, then at that point the body will start moving. So let's put it in this way. Acha, before I go to that part, let me just teach you one more thing. This value of limiting friction depends on the surfaces. So these values depends on the surfaces, okay? Like it value of limiting friction depends on surfaces. Okay, now suppose you consider this is a surface and this is another surface and this is another surface. Obviously this surface will have a small the limiting friction value will be very less. Suppose it is only 10 Newton. If it is a little rough, the value might increase. This might have a value of 20 Newton of maximum value of limiting friction, and this surface is very rough, and the maximum value of the limiting friction, maximum value of static friction, which is limiting friction, can be say 50 Newton. Okay, so the value of limiting friction depends on the surfaces. A smooth surface will have lower value, and a rough surface will have higher value of limiting friction. So I think you understood the part of limiting friction and static friction. If you have any doubts, you can just watch the video once more, okay, this part, if it's confusing for you. Okay, now let's come to the third type of frictional force, that is called kinetic or sliding frictional force. Now, if you apply force more than the limiting friction, suppose this object you are applying force of say 12 Newton. You are applying a force of 12 Newton, and the maximum value of limiting friction that is acting in this way, the maximum value of limiting friction is equal to 10 Newton. So over here, what happens? Your force, okay, is greater than the limiting frictional force, value. You can see your force is 12 Newton and limiting friction maximum value is how much? 10 Newton. At this situation, when you apply force more than the limiting friction, then the resultant force is how much? 12 Newton minus 10 Newton, which is equal to 2 Newton. And this 2 Newton of resultant force will be enough to move the body. This 2 Newton of resultant force will be enough to move the body or slide the body. So at that point, when your applied force, okay, your applied force, okay, writing just clearly, your applied force is greater than the limiting frictional force, then the body starts moving. Now once the body is moving, at that point also a frictional force is acting. This body is right now not in a state of rest. This body right now is in a state of motion. This body is moving. And when the body is moving, okay, like this body is moving, that time also a frictional force acts. And that frictional force which acts when the body is moving, when the body is in motion, that is called kinetic friction. Okay, so when the body is in motion, you can see the body is in motion, that time a frictional force acts, and this frictional force is called as what? Kinetic friction. So kinetic friction means what? Kinetic friction means, actually the word kinetic means motion. Okay. So over here, just first remember the word kinetic means motion. Okay, so kinetic frictional force is what? It is a type of kinetic frictional force. It's a type of frictional force. It is a type of frictional force. It's a type of frictional force that acts when the body is in motion. So it's a type of frictional force that acts when the body is in motion. When the body is in motion, then only kinetic friction. And see the difference. What is static friction? It's a type of frictional force that acts when the body is not in motion, when the body is in rest. That acts when the body is in the state of rest. So when the body is in a state of rest, the frictional force which is acting, that is called static. When the body is moving, that time also a frictional force acts, and that is called as kinetic friction. Okay, clear? Now let me give you a very important point, that when the body is moving, is there a frictional force acting? Answer is yes. Yes, when the body is moving, that time also a frictional force is acting. How do we know that? Suppose you are pushing the body, and you stop pushing, okay, then what happens? Will the body go forward? Answer is what? No, the body will not go forward. Why? Because because of frictional force which opposes the motion, that frictional force will stop the body. So from this example we know that even the body when it is moving, that time which is opposing the motion, which is stopping the movement, opposing the motion. And how do we know that? As soon as we stop applying the force, the body also stops moving forward. Because why? Because frictional force. So we know the body has stopped moving. Why the body has stopped moving? Because when it was moving, that time only a force was acting, and that was kinetic friction. That was kinetic friction. So by this theory, we came to know when the body is in a state of rest, that time also a frictional force acts, that is called static friction. When the body is in motion, that time also a frictional force acts, that is called kinetic, or this thing is also called as sliding also. Okay, this is also called as sliding friction also. So kinetics and friction is also acting. Out of the three, very important, out of the three frictions, static, kinetic and limiting friction. Okay, Ajay. Static friction, limiting friction and kinetic friction, which has the maximum value? The maximum value of the frictional force is limiting friction. Remember, the maximum value of frictional force is always the limiting friction, because static friction is where from 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. All these values are static, but limiting is always the greatest one, 10. Now when the body starts moving, that time a frictional force is acting, but that frictional force is not equal to 10 Newton, that is lesser than that. This kinetic friction is lesser than the limiting friction. So this kinetic friction might be of only 5 Newton. Okay, when the body is moving, that time when it is in motion, that time the peak value of friction is not acting. That time a frictional force is acting, but it is of lower value, okay, smaller value. So that kinetic friction is 5 Newton. So out of the three, which is the highest value of friction? Highest value of frictional force is always limiting friction. Remember this, okay? So by this, I think I am able to make you understand what is the three types of frictional force that we have: kinetic, static and limiting friction. If I summarize the whole thing, what is static friction? Static friction is a friction which acts between two bodies in contact, when they are in the state of rest. Like you are pushing it and the body is not moving. So that time static friction is there. When you keep on pushing it with more and more force, that time also the body doesn't move. So the maximum value of the static friction, okay, is called a limiting friction. Well, static friction doesn't have a one value, it has a lot of values, okay, small to big. The biggest value is called the limiting friction. And when the body starts moving, that time the force acts, frictional force is acting, and that frictional force is called as kinetic frictional force. So I hope I was able to make you understand the three types of frictional force. So anyways, if you have any doubts, you can ask in the comment section also. And saying that, if you happen to enjoy this video, understand this video, please don't forget to hit the like button. And please do give me a response whether you understood or not understood, something like that. You write in the comment section. If any part of the video you are not able to understand, you can also write that also in the comment section. So make use of the comment section, write some of your doubts which you are, if you are able to understand, then also you write. If you are not able to understand, then also you write, okay? So anyway, saying that, I'm ending my video. So again I'm saying, don't forget to hit the like button for whatever reasons for it that will be. So saying that, anyways, tata, goodbye, take care. See you in the next lecture.